Hey, Joe, are you ready for this?
Yes, I'm ready.
Are you sure?
Absolutely. I was born for this.
All right, well, let's get to it then. Welcome to the Saturday Sip Along. And we're live.
Happy Saturday, everybody.
Happy Saturday. Wow. And I can tell you, we got some good bourbons here. They're not fantastic, like, oh God, I have to go find it, but they're good. They're solid. All of these are solid bourbons. Because I don't have Hudson Baby up here. I have other Northeast bourbons, but I left Hudson on the shelf. That's that real high corn. Now, first off, too, I tried to look up the mash bills on these. The only one I can find is Widow Jane. But these are all distilled and bottled. So these are not, there's no MGP juice here. These are all, the one, I know I have them in certain order down there, but I just grabbed the first one. Handcrafted in New York State. This is Cooperstown Distillery, small batches, Cooper's Legacy, and it says Grant's Recipe. This is 100 proof, right? So this is in Cooperstown, New York, baseball.
The good stuff.
The good stuff, right? And this gets really, really good reviews, and it's won a lot of awards. And then I'm just going to grab the New Hampshire one here, Stark. Now, this says handcrafted bourbon. It doesn't say straight, and it does not get, there's the mash bill on the side of the bottle. I looked all over the damn internet and I couldn't find the mash bill. It does not, I will tell you, it does not have an age statement on it. But it's 55% corn, 20% barley, and 25% rye. Now, typically what you'll list is corn, rye, and then barley. They just got them like flip, and I'm sure that's malted barley. But that's a high. So this is going to give you more of a scotchy flavor, like a single malt, because it has that. And that's why we like the one from that we did the documentary film on.
So what
Okay.
happens if you don't put malted barley in? If you just put regular barley?
They all use malted barley.
They do?
They just don't say it out loud. Now, Tidewalker, this one's straight bourbon, so it's at least 2 years aged, if not 4. Again, no age statement. This is from the coast of Maine. It's from New England Distilling Company, and it is distilled and bottled. So there's that. This is happens to be batch 29. Oh, and the Stark is 100 proof. So those two are 100. This one's only 88 proof. So this is I'm trying to find it now. I found it earlier. 44%, 88 proof. So there's that. And then Widow Jane, 91 proof. It's 45.5%. Batch 215, bottle 127. Date on this bottle is 2020. Right.
That's my favorite right there.
This is a good one. And this is aged 10 years.
Never tasted it, but I just got a feeling. It's
Oh,
gonna be my favorite.
this one won the night when I had New York versus Jefferson. This won the night. And that was when man, we haven't hung out since pre-COVID, but I got to get my boy back down here. I'm not going to say his name on here, but anyway, I'll have to have you meet him, and we'll have to do that. But we did the Widow Jane and Hudson, and then I had 2 different Jeffersons, and we did a bourbon battle with them. So we'll look at the screen here. I think we're starting with Tidewalker. I mean, I covered it, and the reason I put the scroller down there is because people come in late. They're asking, "Hey, what are y'all drinking?" There it is, right there. So y'all can help us help them. Mike Carrier, what's going on? Let me go through the chat right quick.
Hey, Crazy Ann.
I see Mike Carrier, Whiskey RN. I see
Whiskey
Crazy
RN.
Ann. I see Oji-san. Let me move this because it's blocking the little thing there. I've got Colin McMiniman, and that's what I see so far in the chat. If I missed somebody, sorry, but we're going to start with Tidewalker. Now, I did manage to read some stuff about someone who tried Tidewalker. It was on Reddit, though, and it wasn't a reviewer, right? And so Reddit, you're going to get whatever. But I couldn't find a legit review out there on this. Now, I've reviewed it before, but that's just me. Now, I'm not going to pour a lot of these. I'm just going to pour enough to taste, because we have some beer to drink tonight too. And we're drinking out of a single glass. And
we're not going to do it official this time.
Yeah, we're not going to mess up 18 glasses tonight. Art by Sparkle, how's it going?
Hey, Art by Sparkle.
Now, I'm not going to tell you what I remember from this, but there's a distinct note. And this one is the strongest bourbon on the shelf that gives that note up. So I'm not going to mention it just yet. But I'm going to get some air in this thing. Yep, and I got it right on the nose.
I don't know what
Now, it is a lower proof at being 88 proof.
some kind of fruit.
Yeah, sort of. It's a spice. And you may get it more on the palate than on the nose. Now, other things I'm picking up, though.
Let's give it a shot.
There is like I mean, I know what it is, but I'm trying to describe so you don't know what it is. I won't do that. All right, so let's just taste it. Oh, yeah, you're definitely going to get it on the tongue. Sparkle. So think about
nutmeg. No, that's the only one I could think of.
Yeah, right. But it's more. It's stronger than. Well, it's different than. It's more medicinal than nutmeg. You get that medicinal note.
Mm-hmm.
Think about black candy.
Licorice.
Yes, there
Really?
is a definite licorice note. That's that medicinal licoricey note you get.
Yeah, you're right. I do get it now.
I love licorice though. So
I like red licorice.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's kind of like red pine. I mean, it's not really a licorice. hmm There's also a piney note to this, like almost like smelling like pine sol, but not on the nose, like on the palate. Like if you taste it, like if you got a drop of pine sol on your tongue, I wouldn't do that. I don't know what pine sol tastes like, but I know what pine sap tastes like, and it's bitter. But this is not bitter, but you get that essence of that pine in it and that licorice, and that's really what comes through on this. And it makes sense because in Maine they have a soda up there called Moxie, and Moxie has a licorice flavor to it, and they love it, you know. And it's very popular in Maine, and I love Moxie. But this reminds me of hints of that Moxie cola.
I think I've seen that before.
It's an orange can. It's got the little guy on it, and he's pointing. It's like everybody needs a little Moxie. Yeah, that's Moxie's cola. But if you don't like chewing on pine needles and you don't like eating licorice, you probably won't. This won't be your favorite bourbon.
Yeah, since we're only using one glass, we got to drink it up.
Oh yeah, we'll finish. Yeah, here we go.
All right, over the lips, past the gums.
Look out.
Here it comes.
Yeah. All right, Stark.
I want an extra smooth with no bite.
Now this one.
Chicken cock. No.
This one's supposed to be extra smooth, according to the claims from New Hampshire.
I can't remember which one it was, but we had one last week that was really smooth.
Oh, I remember liking this one. It's been a while. I can't remember all the notes. The only reason I remember Tidewalker is because that's the most licorice pine forward bourbon on my shelf. And I like it, but it's not for everybody. So, pour a little of this. I'm going to pour a tiny bit more than that. I was being a little cautious. Well, no, that's about right. That's enough to taste. We got about the same. If we need more, we'll pour a dribble more.
Air it out a little bit.
Yeah. And it's going to have it's going to be a little mix to it with that other, but hopefully we'll be able to pick the notes out on this. This is super soft on the nose. Super soft. There's that buttery, it doesn't bite you like Tidewalker. Even the ethanol got a little more kick to it because that's 100 proof from 88 proof. We just stepped up, So you're getting a little more of that ethanol. But other than that, the notes are well balanced in this.
It's pretty smooth too.
Oh, it is really smooth. Now it's young. It's young. They don't call it a straight bourbon. It's probably only been aged for about a year.
Do they have a crooked bourbon?
No.
No.
Well, it's crooked to sell you something that hadn't been in the barrel for at least 2 years. But they did a good job on this, and I would like a Master's Keep type, version of this that's been aged like 9-10 years.
Oh, the name again.
What's that?
Sparkle wants the name of this.
Oh, Stark. STA. It's scrolling along the bottom, but I'll show you the bottle. It's got a doggy on it. And that's what it looks like with the barrels in the background. And this is New Hampshire made. But no, I really, it's few noted, but it's a very easy to sip bourbon. This would be one where somebody's coming up and be like, man, I'm ready for a bourbon, and it's only like 2:30 in the afternoon. Even though it's 100 proof, it's super easy to drink, and just have
it is pretty easy.
One snifter to tide us over, and then wait till later. Lori Loves Montana is in here. Bad Axe Bourbon is here. Welcome.
Bad Axe Bourbon.
Now,
that's a cool name.
Comparing those two, my favorite's Tidewalker. And I know it's not yours. I think you would prefer the Stark.
I have to think back, but no, I actually think I prefer the Tidewater between the two of them.
Tidewalker. Yeah.
Tidewalker.
It's got more flavor to it.
Yeah.
I mean, that one's really smooth, but
that's really smooth, and that one has a bite, but
it's vanilla. That's about it,
Yeah.
Especially after drinking the Tidewalker with all of those floral, medicinal, licorice, piney notes. I mean, but they're balanced. And when I say it out loud like that, people think, oh God, pine licorice. But it's just the overlaying notes. It's not, there's a sweetness underneath that carries the whole thing, So there's that. I'm going to say Widow Jane for last.
Okay.
So we're going to go Cooper's Legacy. Now, this is a really good bourbon. And this is also a straight, it's a straight bourbon whiskey. 50, no, it doesn't say straight on here. But I read, though, I thought it had I think this is over 2 years old. Yep, 2 and 3 year old. Yep, that's where I read it. So they could legally call this a straight bourbon whiskey because the blend on this is the same bourbon, but they take 2 year barrels and cut them with like it's probably 3 to 1, like 3 2 year barrels and 1 3 year, and they blend them together. And that was the thing they were looking for. So they could call this a straight bourbon whiskey. They just don't on the bottle. But this is 100 proof, 50%. And from memory, I really, really like this. And I've been leaving it alone because it's hard to find around here. But we're going to drink a little, and I'm going to pour a nice little healthy pour this time.
All right. Where's Widow Jane made?
Brooklyn, New York.
Cool.
But this is Cooperstown, New York, home of baseball. There we go. This is a baseball bourbon.
Maybe I think we ought to try to make a trip up to Widow Jane's. And
I don't have any desire to drive in New York City.
Neither do I.
Not a damn one single desire. My wife drove through New York City pulling a camper trailer.
Oh my God.
Now she didn't get off down into the, but the highway.
Now this one's got a bit of a bite.
Yeah, Noel. This one has some more notes than Stark. I remember that. Let me taste it.
Cherry? You smell it.
Oh, I remember this one. Oh, I love this one. I fucking love it. And I'll tell you why I love it. Do you get that black pepper on the end?
Mm-hmm.
But then
the tongue? Yeah.
The black pepper smooths out into a sweet tobacco finish. I love this bourbon. It's like a molassesy tobacco finish. It's like a brown sugar. Well, yeah, okay. So
I do taste like the brown sugar. I don't taste it. Oh, well, maybe I do taste the tobacco.
Yeah, it's on the finish. It's that little bit of bitter kick you get with that super sweet molasses. And
right
because
at the end,
they put molasses in tobacco, right? They use molasses and they'll flavor tobacco with that. And that's why I'm saying sweet tobacco. I'm not like just a straight tobacco leaf, But sugar. So
this is very good.
Oh yeah, it's really, really, really good. If you can get Cooperstown, the small batch Cooper's Legacy from New York, get it. It's really, really good. Now, the Widow Jane, I think is going to edge it out from memory.
I think it is too.
So we'll go with that. But that is a really, really good bourbon, and I'll show you what it looks like. It's got the red label. Don't get this mixed up with Cooper's Craft. Cooper's Craft is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. This is, I know it's hard to see with that. This is Cooper's Legacy. And I'll show you the difference in the bottle. Cooper's Craft is in a round bottle. And it looks like this. This is Cooper's Craft. Whoops.
Sorry.
This is not what we're drinking. This is what we're drinking. All right. Totally different. Cooper's Craft is Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. That is Brown Foreman. So this is Brown Foreman, Louisville. So don't get them mixed up. Okay. So there's that. Let me sip on this a little bit more and we'll get to the Widow Jane. I'm really looking forward to the Widow Jane. That's another one I don't hit very often, because it can be, depending on where you get it, it can be around $90. They get proud of it. Yummy though. Yummy. This is so yummy before the Widow Jane.
It is good. Yeah.
This is really, really good stuff. I was going to say something about sugar, right? And people talk about caramel, right? Caramel is white sugar, right? The processed sugar, the granules that you put and you heat them until they caramelize, right? That's caramel. And then caramel that you eat, like chew on, they add cream to it and make a milk caramel, like creamy caramel candy. But when you take a torch on top of creme brulee and you sprinkle just granulated sugar on top and take a torch, you're creating a caramel crust, right? So refined sugar, what it is sugar cane, because sugar cane in its pure form is very brown. And they remove the molasses from it. And then they can jar molasses, right? Brown sugar is different. So if you get sugar in the raw, you're getting molasses and sugar together. That's raw sugar, right? From the sugar cane. But what brown sugar is they then process the molasses and they add molasses back in to refined sugar. So they can control the flavor of it. Mm-hmm. And that's how they make it light brown, medium brown, dark brown, brown sugar.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Right. So you're getting similar flavors off of all of it. But that molasses flavor, when I say molasses, I'm talking about what they've extracted out of the sugar and to refine it. And then they like runny, thick molasses. So because brown sugar is a lighter version of that. So just a little.
Learn something new every day. You heard it here, folks.
A bunch of useless knowledge. So.
That was good.
And the only reason I know all that is because I've studied a lot. Like I never went to school, like culinary school, but I studied, like I read the papers, I watch the classes online and stuff. And I learned all this stuff from these master chefs and stuff, it's just whatever you put your mind to. It's like Adobe Premiere Pro. I won't switch from it now. I mean, I didn't, when I first got it, I was like, I don't know how to use this thing for shit, but now I know a lot about it and I don't want to have to relearn a tool, so, but it's whatever, playing the guitar, we were talking about earlier, getting a feel for strumming and beats and different strum techniques you can use and all that type of stuff. It's just go with the flow.
Go with the flow.
I'm going to finish that here shortly, but it's only 7:35. Now I can start the after party early, but we still have Widow Jane to go. So we're going to get there.
Let me take a second here just to throw a shout out to the people in Kentucky. Hope you guys are doing okay.
Oh, with all the water?
Yeah, you guys got a little wet out there and hope you guys are doing okay.
Also.
Sorry?
Hang on. It's bugging the crap out of me. It's my guitar callus coming off.
Oh.
It keeps hanging on everything. So when you play guitar, you get these little circles on the end of your fingers and it builds up, builds up, builds up. You have this callus on top of callus, and then all of a sudden one layer tries to peel off. And that's what I'm dealing with on that one. All right. I think we're good.
So yeah, I hope.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope
You
so.
know.
Is anyone in here in or around Kentucky, or around where the water was? Because it's not contained to state lines. I mean, it can spill over.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bad one.
Oh yeah, we're drinking Widow Jane last because I have a sneaky suspicion, even though this one is awesome with that good molassesy tobacco end note on it, even at only 100 proof. And when I say that, I tend to only get leather and tobacco notes out of those high aged, really expensive bourbons that are cask strength. And this is giving them to me off of the lower proof. I wouldn't put this with a cigar.
So what do you think about? Think that would hold up with Licton?
No, Lincoln Pinch.
Yeah, that's it.
It will not. No, absolutely not. That's a whole other league of stuff.
Okay.
That's cask strength, and that's well crafted, well aged cask strength bourbon.
It is.
You're not gonna get that out of these lower proofs. In my opinion, if someone puts a bourbon that's under probably 112 proof with a cigar, they're wasting the bourbon, and all they're going to taste is a cigar. You've got just drink it slow. You don't have to sit there and hammer 5 snifters. Just drink 2 snifters of the higher proof, but take little sips of it while you're smoking the cigar. You're going to enjoy it more, because you're going to get the, and Jimmy said 115 and above for him. I mean, but the reason I said 112 is because I have a bourbon that's 112 that I will put with a cigar. And that's the only reason I said 112. I could change your mind on that. But, All right, let me pull this Widow Jane over. I'm going to finish this little dribble in here. This bottle, excuse me. So let me just read some of this. Widow Jane, aged 10 years, and new American oak barrel. Duh, that's the law. Pure limestone mineral water from the legendary Rosendale mines of New York. Blend of straight bourbons. So this is a blend, but I know the mash bill. It's a blend of different barrels, right? It's the same mash bill. This is 70% corn, 20% rye, and the rest of it's malted barley. 10% malted barley. But they use different barrels from different batches to blend together. This is batch number 215, bottle 127. It was bottled in 2020. So there we have that. I'm going to finish this.
All right, I think that might be a question for you.
Where can I get these bourbons? Oh, you can get Widow Jane just about anywhere. But you're going to pay for it. Now, it's going to be about $90. I mean, think about like buying a bottle of barrel bourbon or something. It's kind of pricey. It can be. I'm going to pour us a little more of this one because it's the last one. There. I poured us a healthier pour of the Widow Jane. Now, I bought Cooper's Legacy here in North Carolina. The Stark and the Tidewalker came when my wife went to Maine. Her mother lived in Maine. She grew up in Maine. She went to Messalonskee High School in Maine, up north of Portland, up there. When she was coming back through, she stopped at liquor stores and she bought Tidewalker and Stark and brought them home to me. That's how awesome my wife is. But the Cooper's Legacy I bought here, so it does get distributed more than the others. But whether you can get it or not, I'm going to focus on these things. I'm going to do that because I give away samples, here and there. So I want y'all to be familiar with some of the bourbons and to be like, man, and sometimes you get like dealer's choice, right? Or player's choice. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to give you 2 ounces of bourbon. What 2 ounces do you want? And somebody may say, you know what, I'm interested in that Tidewater from hearing y'all talk about it, or that Cooper's Legacy, because I really want to try that 100 proof that has all those good molasses notes. I'll send you a sample of it. That's why I bring these things out and do this with them. But Widow Jane, here we go. This is the pièce de la résistance right here.
It's the darkest too, right?
Oh, that
No
nose.
Tidewalkers.
Oh, that nose. Oh, yeah, it's the darkest, but it's also aged 10 years. It's the only one with an age statement on it. I mean, straight bourbon only means, well, Cooper's Legacy had the 2 and 3 year, right? And we know that Stark or the Tidewalker was aged at least 2 years, but they don't put an age statement. So Stark is not a straight bourbon; it's just bourbon, and it tastes younger, but it is smooth. So, well, Cindy just won that 30 bourbon sampler.
I know.
And I've been going back and forth with her. And today she finally chose, she said, I don't need that one on the list. Can I swap it with this? Because I'm going to send her a sample of the blends. And I said, yeah, and then I said, once we get the list hammered down, then I'll start pouring them up, because I'm going to go see Cindy. I'm going to drive out there. Not this next week, but the next while I'm off. And I'm going to hand deliver it, because I want to hit the liquor stores out there too. And that's why I'm trying not to spend very much money right now, because I have some money to spend on bourbon, and I want to wait till I get out there, because that's where I picked up a lot of good bourbons in Tennessee. I'm limited to the ABC here. I am anticipating tasting this. Have you tasted it? I know it's good.
It's good.
I am relishing the nose right now. But yeah, I'm gonna take a sip. Hang on. Man, this stuff is fantastic. It's got this creaminess to it, but there's an explosion of notes that comes out. Oh, wow. And do you get the cocoa?
I do.
Right before the finish. Wow. Widow Jane is worth the money.
Yeah, I take that back, Sparkle. This is the one.
That's the one.
This is the smooth one you're looking for.
Oh, it's so good. And it has those darker notes to it. Oh, wow. That cocoa chocolate, that dark chocolate note right before the finish. And then once it hits the finish, you've got different darker notes,
It's good.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, wow. Yeah, that stuff is fantastic. But you see, that's the only bottle of Widow Jane I've ever owned. And that's how much is missing out of it, because it was so good when I tried it. I was like, oh, I don't want to drink this up. So, I hung on to it, and I've used it for a few things, but I will send a sample. And a bourbon like that's $90, or I don't know what it is now. It may even be some geographically, it can vary, and it can even be like maybe 115 behind glass or something for somebody. But what's good about this is if you happen to win one of the giveaways and you get choice or something, and even if you got first prize and said, I want Widow Jane to be one of them, I would send you Widow Jane as an intermediate bourbon. It's not a beginner bourbon, but it's also not hyper complex either. But it has some really good mid notes to it. And I would do that. I would send it.
It's good.
And we would walk through it with the nosing kit. It's really, really good. I hope it's still that good, but I've only heard good things about it. So. Yep. Well, and now New York has Hudson, so we won't go there. I didn't bring that one up. I can pour you a little Hudson if you want to rinse your mouth out with shoe polish after you drink that Widow Jane.
No.
Okay.
Don't want it spoiled.
It's not that bad. Hudson Baby Bourbon. I have Hudson Baby Bourbon. The original is 100% corn. And then I have Bright Lights Big Bourbon, which is 95% corn, 5% malted barley. And it's that New York blue corn, and it has this funk flavor to it. It's really not that good. I don't know why some people like it, but I mean, I can drink it if it's all I had. I would sit around and sip on it, but it's not my favorite for sure.
And that would never be all you had.
I mean, it would have to be like a very, like hey, I'm out here trying to get the camper hooked up. Just I don't care what bottle. Just grab me a bottle off my shelf to throw in a bag so I'll have a bottle of bourbon with me on this camping trip. And then I get out there and I find out it's Hudson baby bourbon. And I'm like, why did you reach behind all those bottles? When it was small, it was compact, But that would because they're in the same bottle, right? The Hudson baby is up there, and they don't make it anymore, and that's why I kind of stick it back. But this is Bright Light's Big Bourbon, the Hudson Whiskey New York, and across the bottom they changed it to Bright Light's Big Bourbon, and all they did was reduce the corn count by 5% and added malt barley. That's it. So
Widow James is a good choice.
Widow Jane. Oh yeah, Widow Jane is fantastic. Now, there's better bourbons out there, but from what we have on the table, for me, Widow Jane's number one, Cooper's Legacy is number two, Tidewalker's number three, and Stark is number four.
Okay, yeah.
Widow Jane, Cooper's Legacy, Tidewalker, and Stark.
Yeah, I'm close to that. I think I'd swap the Tidewalker and the Coopers.
I think they're real close, right?
Yeah.
So the spread, though, let's say we had a point spread, and I had Widow Jane here. You have to come like down a little ways, and then it's one of those two almost side by side, and then you have to come down further to hit Stark. That's kind of, you have to put them on that scale to see how close they are. But on any given day, I may prefer Tidewalker over Cooper's Legacy. But Widow Jane's going to come out on top.
Muy good.
Muy good.
Muy good.
Muy good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's our Northeast bourbons. They make pretty good bourbons. So certain spots. Yeah. But I really like the Tidewalker from coast of Maine. Now it's New England Distilling is their name, right? Oh, the other one thing I was going to talk about is Stark. I believe it is Stark. Stark started as a brewery. Let me see if they say this on here. Yeah, Stark is the one that started as a brewing company, brewing beer. And then they opened the distillery portion later on. So they had, their craft beers, probably, New England IPAs, NEPAs, up there and all of that type of stuff. And then they started the distillery where they started crafting bourbon, among other things. And you can look up Stark. And I think it comes up, I think you have to go to starkbrewery.com is their domain. But in there, it'll say brewery or distillery on a drop down. And then once you hit distillery, it shows you the whiskeys and other flavors. And Stark Beer was their main business. Now that's okay. That would have worked, but they're in New Hampshire. It would have worked, RB. It would have worked. Now Tidewalker is Maine, but yeah, that's New Hampshire. But which New Hampshire, Maine.
So Tidewalker is their main business?
Yeah, Tidewalker is their main business. but Stark is the one that, though, in their website, when you go to it, it shows like a beer taps down through there as a background, even when you go to the distillery page.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The same background. It's called lazy HTML coding.
Right.
Yeah.
It's called, they need a new guy to take care of their website.
They should have a whole bunch of barrels with this little dog like burnt into the top of it, But Widow Jane is fantastic. RB, have you had Widow Jane? Or who else in the chat has had Widow Jane? I mean, give me, and if your opinion differs from mine, that's great. I mean, fine.
That's right. That's what we're looking for.
I really like Widow Jane, but you're not going to offend me if you don't. Just like Tidewalker, if you don't like licorice, you may not like. But if you can take it or leave it, star anise or whatever. If you can take it or leave it, it's subtle enough it's not going to overwhelm you. But there is that. Oh, we just finished a bottle of it last week. All right. And how much do you pay for it, if I might ask, in that area of the world? Uh-oh. We're gonna get Halloweened up in here. $75. Okay. Because and that's about what it is here, but I've seen it on the shelves before in other places for it closer to 90. Like the 87 to 92 range.
Hold on, I gotta take
All right, take that call.
Hello.
Duty calls.
Hey.
All right. So, but out of all of these, you just can't really compare to Widow Jane. Now, it does not stand up to some of the higher potency bourbons.
She's really tired, and I'm doing a show, right now. So, okay, bye.
All right. See, if he wants to hear you, he can just log on.
Sorry?
Whoever it was, they can just log on and they can watch the show.
No. You must not be watching the show, huh?
All right. Do you want a little more of something? Maybe revisit the Tidewalker with just a dribble?
Okay. I would rather
Widow Jane?
Yeah, but since you don't have that much and it's that hard to get, I'll go ahead.
It's not. It's a full bottle. It's just like
but you said it's really hard to get, so you don't do that. So, Tidewalker's good.
No. If you want some more Widow Jane,
I want some more Widow Jane.
I'm going to pour you a little more Widow Jane. I'm not going to pour a lot because we have to drink a beer.
We have to?
We have to. That's what we do here. There. I poured you a little. I poured you 2 dribbles.
Cheers, everybody. Hope you have a very happy Saturday night, a great weekend.
All right. Cheers.
Damn, that's good.
That was a little mouthful right there.
Yeah.
A double dribble is a mouthful.
Woo!
But I will say, taking it that much gave me more notes on the sides of my tongue than I was getting just sipping across the center of the tongue. And they were all pleasurable. I will say that's a good bourbon. But I'm going to go grab a beer right now, and we're going to crack a beer. I do have an after party scheduled here at 8:15. So we're going to move over to the Bourbon Bounty After Dark channel. We've covered our bourbons here tonight. This show is intended to be anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes to an hour long. We don't want to restrict it to only a certain time frame, but it will be within an hour. What's up, Mr. Great Shot?
Hey,
but I will post the link to Bourbon Bounty After Dark because I have a whole separate channel I do these after parties on now because it was killing my ad revenue and stuff because I have to put down that it's TVMA, we're saying wordy dirds and all this type of stuff, and I'm playing music and I'm playing Eagles music and
we're saying wordy dirds
on the after party.
Oh.
Yeah, we drop F-bombs.
We don't say any wordy dirts here.
Yeah, a little, but you can do abbreviated stuff. I mean, it's not that bad. But we can't just drop a whole bunch. Now, do we want to do...
I want to do the baby one.
It's not cold.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Damn.
Either Modelo Chelada, Mike's Harder, and that was the pineapple mandarin, or we have the 90-minute.
Mike's.
All right, let's do Mike's. It's not really a beer. We'll call it a beer. It's a malt beverage. That's all right. We'll do it. And we are going. Oh, well, you know what? It's Maine night, or it's Northeast night. We're going to do these glasses here. But you can't have the good one.
Can't what?
Can't have the good one. We're doing the Northeast. These glasses I got in Maine.
Whoa.
Now this one, wait, let me grab it. This one is Wicked Good Pub Glass from Maine. Great for sodas, beers, and hard liquor. Right? And it's spelled that way. This is the Wicked Pissa Pub Glass. And again, great for sodas, beers, and hard liquor. Right?
That's cool.
So, yeah. Ta-da. So, in honor of Northeast, we're going to drink out of these main pub glasses. Oh, wow. I really like pineapple and mandarin, so I hope this is good.
There is only one way to find out.
And this is a big can, too, by the way. I think I'm going to be able to fill both of these glasses up pretty good. Now, this is not, again, it's not a beer. This is Mike's Hard.
It smells good, though.
Oh, yeah, it does. All right, let's see here. Look at that. Look at that. Look at right above the label. Look at that.
Not bad.
Man, I about hit that even. All right.
Let's see how hard Mike is.
Yeah.
No, that didn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Sorry.
Hey, crazy ant. No.
Oh, we're not on TVMA yet, so.
What's up, Cancer Mouse? Wow, that's not
that
bad.
is good.
That's good for a hard lemonade or whatever. A pineapple mandarin, not bad at all. Now this is 8% by volume. You know, Mike's Harder pineapple mandarin. That is really, really good. You don't. A lot of times when they try to go above 5% on those malt beverages and stuff, it's you get that twangy stuff, but this is really nice.
Hey, Crazy Ann.
All right. Twisted tea. Yeah, I saw a twisted tea there. I didn't get it. I got that because I saw the pineapple mandarin. And so I was like, oh, I like both of those things.
Where'd you get that at? Bitter Wine?
Food line.
Really?
Yeah, they have the single, you know, that cold section where they have this. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Food Line, yeah.
You just have to go when they have stuff out. I mean, you never know what they're going to. I mean, it's a small selection, and that's it. You know.
Yeah. So standing in the aisle 7, and some guy walked by me at Wine and More, and I said, "Do you have any single cans of IPA?" And he says, "Yeah, turn around."
Kaboom!
And there
And
they
they
were.
turn around, and it goes. Whoa! It's like. All right, let me grab this link right quick so we can get people ready to funnel over if they want to. Let me go to YouTube here. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And switch the brand over to After Dark. Bourbon Bounty After Dark. And oops, over here. Got to go into my studio. Man, it's so messed up when you start a new channel and it's not monetized. There's like half of the controls that you normally have. And when I go like into the content, live, then see the Sat Sip After Party. Normally I can say view on YouTube. I don't even have that option. I just have to get shareable link. But anyway, I'm going to post it. Kabooyam. Oh, Mr. Great Shot posted a link. Well, I posted it too. Well, I don't know. Your link looks different than mine. Oh, that's my channel. I posted an actual link to the live stream, the broadcast. But yes, if you go to the one Mark sent, Mr. Great Shot, you can sub the channel and you'll get notified when I go live. If you want notifications.
Of course you do.
Right. Man, it was so freaking hot. I went and helped my mother-in-law out today. So her brother was in town visiting, and they had this cipher lock deadbolt. Couldn't make it work. So I went over there and I hooked it all up and it wouldn't work. And I'm like, I'm reading the instructions. I'm following the instructions. And normally when you buy a deadbolt or something, it's either for a left side set, right side set door, right? And I'm trying to do this on a left side set door, and it's designed for a right side set door. Because if I turn the whole thing around and I put the cipher lock on the inside and the batteries on the outside where people can get to them, it worked. And I'm like, how do you switch it? And there was nothing in the instructions about switching it. I had to go to troubleshooting on Quickset's website to figure out how to switch the lock from left hand set or right hand set to left hand set. And it's some weird thing where you take the batteries out of it and you put the thing up there on the door and you press and hold the lock button. And then you drop the batteries in and it goes beep and then it starts going rank, 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 rank. And then the deadbolt goes zzz, and then it works.
How does that go again?
Rank, 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 rank. I mean, it was like, because it would hit the gear mechanism on the motor because it was set for the other side. It was trying to make the deadbolt go the other way. And then it would switch itself and then it would work. And man, I mean, if you're going to sell the lock, because I couldn't get it to work. So we were going to package it back up and take it to Lowe's, and we went to lunch. And we went to a place called the Quiet Pint here, and excellent freaking burgers. Oh my God. And their garlic fries are like out of this world. I mean, it's a beer pub, but their food is amazing. But it's, downtown area. And just freaking delicious. I overate on that. That's probably all I'm going to eat today, because I ate that at like 11:30 noon, and I'm still full. And when I didn't even eat everything on my plate, but when the waitress came, she said, "How was it?" And I said, "I ate one bite too many." You know how you do that? Mm-hmm. Where you're like, all right, I know I should stop, but I'm going to take one more bite. And then that last bite is just not as good as all the other bites, because you're like, I really
making you suffer.
Yeah, because I wanted one more bite because it tasted so freaking good. My big complaint about burger places is they don't season the meat. Put some salt and freaking pepper and stuff on your meat. Season it.
Yeah. That was like that hamburger I had in Kentucky.
Yeah, bland.
No, it was really good. Yeah,
really
it was huge. It was like a pound of meat.
Yeah, it was a pound. Yeah, he got a double. It was he had a bottom bun, a meatloaf, and a top bun over here. You had 2 pounds of beef. It's like, because it said in big bold letters, it said, "Our burgers are 1 pound of beef," and then it said, "You can make it a double for $3.99 more," or whatever, because you're buying an extra pound of ground beef.
Yep. That filled me up for the whole day.
Oh, man. Yeah. I'll tell you this, too. The best meatloaf I ever had, we were at Disney, and we went to Disney Springs, just for a break in the middle of the week. And we had the food plan, and you can use your food plan and we had the big bad food plan, we can get whatever. And we went to Disney Springs, and I ate at Emerald's restaurant, and I had Emerald's meatloaf. Oh, my God. But I looked up the recipe for it when I got home, and it's like 50,000 steps to make this meatloaf, and they have to do it just like this, and with all the bacon, and you have to use 3 different types of beef or meat, pork sausage, a certain level of, it's four meats, a certain percent of ground beef, like 70-30. And then you get like a 90-10, and then you have to put lamb in it too, ground lamb. And if you can't find ground lamb, you have to get lamb and then cut them and then grind them yourself. And I was like, whoa, that's a lot of trouble. Next time I'm there, I'll just get you a meatloaf, because I'm done with that. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and wrap this down so that we can jump over to the other one. I will be a few minutes getting things ready. I'll have to pop the chat out and all that type of stuff. But within 5 minutes, we will be live over on Bourbon Bounty After Dark. The links are posted. I will go ahead and pin this one.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
I'm going to pin that one right there. It's pinned at the top. Grab that, click that, and you'll be over in the other after party. But guys, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. But we'll see you over there.